going to adjust it week by week and based on the matchups. And, in this matchup, you felt comfortable with Justin Evans because, as DA puts it, this wasn't a rotation. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, well, in this particular game, there wasn't a lot of rotation in there. I think PJ got in for a few plays in that spot. I thought as the game wore on, I thought Justin did a nice job. And so look, we'll take a look at what Tampa's doing, find out what the best matchups for us are, and we'll have a plan for them.
Yeah, and so I think Justin played like 55 snaps. I think he only allowed one catch. He was lining up against tight ends, running backs in the slot, all these guys. And I thought he held up about as well as you could have hoped. And for a team that is suddenly trying to replace a guy who, you went through the entire offseason, think he was going to be a major piece of this defense in CJ Gardner-Johnson, I think you have to be really encouraged with what you saw in Justin Evans.
Yeah, I think in the fact that he's one of those guys to me that played his way onto this football team. He wasn't given anything. He earned his way onto the football team prior to the CJ situation. And he's just a physical guy, made the pick in preseason. He plays hard, plays bigger than his size. He's not a rookie. He's got 4 years in his fourth year. I agree. I think I felt even during the preseason that this was a guy who could come in and help you just because of his physical play like that. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, he did a really good job of, IDing the run. So when you're a slot corner, you have a few responsibilities that make it difficult to play, right? You have to be a primary run support player on a lot of, the backside run plays where there's no weak side linebacker, right? You are the weak side linebacker when you are a nickel corner. You're taking a guy like Zach Bond, like Caden Ellis off the field, and you are putting someone there who is better in coverage. But they can still run at you. They can still run to the weak side, and you have to be able to hold up against Cordero Patterson, against Derrick Henry. You have to be able to make those tackles. So you have to be a strong tackler, a willing tackler, and not every cornerback in the league or every defensive back in the league you're going to say that about. And you could say that about CJ. I think Justin is showing you could say that about him. But that's only half the equation. You also have to be able to cover. You have to be able to match up with tight ends, with running backs, with, all these speedy slot receivers. One guy you're probably not going to see next week, which I think is a big advantage for the Saints, is Chris Godwin, a guy who CJ struggled to cover in that matchup last year before he got hurt. And so, it makes that a little easier. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Justin Evans in that spot again. And, you have to feel good for the guy. He was a second-round draft pick, and he missed 2 years with injuries. His career was derailed. So it's good to see him, like you said, play his way onto the roster and get an opportunity. Yeah. And, I wouldn't be surprised down the road you find out that one of the reasons you were comfortable trading CJ, or you felt like, you can get away with trading CJ, and is you felt comfortable getting him up there. And I think we saw through week one that's the case, and hopefully that continues.
I agree. They only had 2 passes defense. He had one of them, that one right there. He's just a big physical guy, and he's hungry. Like you say, he missed those 2 years. You get guys like that, and they just like CJ, just put their whole body and heart into it. So I'm eager to see more of what he can do.
Yeah, and he's a Texas A&M guy, and when it comes to Dennis Allen, that never hurts.
Doesn't hurt. It never hurts.
I feel like half the coaching staff went to Texas A&M, right?
Texas A&M and Ohio State players and Texas A&M staff.
And he just gave Eric McCoy the bag, another Texas A&M guy. It's all coming back. Ohio State is the thing of the past. This is going to be a Texas A&M team.